Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to unpack the fascinating, totally invisible nervous system that maps, tracks, and protects our highly interconnected and, let's be honest, remarkably fragile global economy. What we're looking at today is essentially the ultimate backstage pass to world commerce, the global trade data infrastructure and strategic analytics. Think of this as the master control room. It's where every single global transaction leaves a footprint, allowing us to see not just what is happening in the world, but exactly why it's happening.
To really grasp the sheer scale of what we're dealing with, just look at this staggering number, 1.1 billion. We're talking about a systemic data infrastructure that currently manages over 1.1 billion individual trade records. And these aren't just abstract data points floating in the cloud. These records represent the actual physical movement of the world's food, medicine, technology, and energy. It's quite literally the lifeblood of roughly 220 countries, captured and cataloged to create a real-time pulse of human civilization's commercial activity.
But this massive scale raises a really critical, human-scale question for us. When massive geopolitical shocks hit, or when supply chains completely break down, how exactly does the world adapt? How do we survive those shifts? How do decision-makers know where the bottlenecks are, or where alternative supplies might be hiding? Well, the answer lies entirely in how we collect, standardize, and analyze this absolute ocean of global trade data.
Section 1. The Global Supply Shock, Volatility and Structural Change.
So before we look at the actual tools themselves, we really need to understand the intense structural changes that are currently squeezing global logistics. It's a crazy dynamic. Just look at the stark contrast between these two trajectories. On one hand, we're seeing a massive 2025 growth surge, and that's driven almost entirely by the rapid, global demand for AI-enabling products. But then, right next to it, there's an immediate projected slowdown for 2026. Why? Geopolitical risks. Conflicts, particularly in the Middle East, are seriously threatening energy prices, food supplies, and transport logistics. It's a super clear cause and effect scenario. You have soaring technological ambition colliding head-on with harsh geopolitical reality.
Section 2. The Trade Data Infrastructure, Repositories of Global Commerce.
To navigate this kind of whiplash volatility, world leaders and global businesses absolutely cannot rely on guesswork. They have to rely on this massive hidden data infrastructure. The really crucial point here is that there are three primary repositories acting as our global watchtowers. First up, we have UN Comtrade. They're the undisputed heavyweight, holding those 1.1 billion records we talked about and covering 99% of all merchandise trade across about 200 countries. Then, you've got the IMF's International Trade in Goods by Partner Country, or IMTS. And what's brilliant about the IMF's approach is that if a country's data is outdated or just unavailable, they use advanced estimation techniques to fill in the gaps, which gets their coverage up to 220 nations. Finally, there's the WTO data portal, which serves as the vital gateway for tracking not just physical goods, but services and intellectual property rights too.
Now, you might think this is all a relatively new digital era concept, but it's really not. Looking at this timeline, we can see institutional data tracking stretching all the way back to the post-World War II era. The IMF actually began its annual data tracking back in 1948 to help rebuild a totally shattered global economy. UN Comtrade's long-term time series kicked off in 1962. These systems have been continually evolving for decades, maintaining this incredibly vital historical context so we can actually compare today's supply shocks against years of historical precedent.
It's also super fascinating to see how these different watchtowers divide the labor. While UN Comtrade focuses heavily on aggregating the raw volume of merchandise across trade partners, so essentially answering how much stuff is moving and where, the WTO data portal specializes in the rules of the game. They're the ones monitoring official tariffs, import rates, most favored nation statuses, and preferential agreements for over 150 economies.
Section 3. Standardizing the global economy, the language of trade.
Think about it. Raw data pouring in from hundreds of countries across hundreds of local currencies and different languages, it would be completely useless without a rigorous methodological framework to make it all comparable. So here is how this pipeline actually works. First, national authorities report their local statistics to bodies like the UN. Next, all those disparate local commodities are rigorously standardized through strict classification codes. And finally, to ensure true cross-country comparability, everything is converted from local national currencies into US dollars using market exchange rates.
At the very core of this entire pipeline is the harmonized system, or HS.
You can really think of this as the universal language of global commerce. Every single product shipped across borders, whether it's a high-tech microchip or a literal ton of soybeans, gets assigned a specific code. And because the global economy is constantly evolving, this system gets updated frequently. But the data is always carefully mapped back to earlier systems, so analysts never lose that precious long-term historical trendline.
Section 4. Tools for Sense-Making. Analytics and Value Chains.
Okay, so standardized data is just the foundation. Storing 1 billion records is one thing, but extracting strategic, actionable insight from them is another entirely. Notice how different organizations have built distinct tools to solve very specific strategic problems. The World Bank's WITS platform, for example, lets users simulate tariff reductions and map out complex global value chain networks. McKinsey's Global Trade Explorer targets what they cleverly call the complication of concentration, basically identifying dangerous bottlenecks where the world relies way too heavily on a single region for critical supplies. And Harvard's Atlas of Economic Complexity takes a totally different angle, tracking dynamic flows over time to help countries discover entirely new avenues for economic growth.
And these analytics go incredibly granular. The ITC trade map provides critical indicators on export performance and international demand for over 5,300 distinct harmonized system products. But here's the best part. It doesn't stop at just macro-national statistics. The ITC trade map actually includes direct company directories, so it actively assists in international business development at the micro level, connecting importing and exporting companies directly based on these data flows.
Section 5. Navigating Future Trade Volatility. Resilience in a Digital Era.
Looking ahead, as the very nature of commerce fundamentally shifts, this entire analytical infrastructure is being forced to adapt rapidly to entirely new models of exchange. We're seeing a really critical shift towards visualizing digital trade. New tools like the Global Services Trade Data Hub are stepping up to capture the rising tide of digital services. Understanding modern trade now means tracking this highly complex mix: traditional merchandise, the massive surge in AI hardware we discussed earlier, and the often invisible but highly lucrative flow of digital services.
So what is the so what of all this? When you feed all this data, the geopolitical risks, the AI surges, the value chain bottlenecks, into these analytical tools, a very clear directive emerges. Current global themes demand an urgent strategic focus on supply chain resilience and rebalancing. Organizations and nations are actively using this data right now to dismantle dangerous supply concentrations and proactively rebalance their global value chains. It's absolutely crucial for ensuring both long-term sustainability and national security.
Section 6. Decisive Synthesis. The Era of Interconnectedness.
Bringing this all together into a decisive synthesis, the raw numbers reveal an undeniable truth about our modern economic reality. No region, no country is an island today. And that isn't just a nice philosophical sentiment, it is a mathematical certainty, backed up by over 1.1 billion data points. Because our economies, our energy grids, and our food supplies are so intricately tied together across 220 countries, analyzing this data requires unprecedented global collaboration. An isolated supply shock in one hemisphere is mathematically guaranteed to create a ripple effect in another.
And that leads us to our final thought for today. The data infrastructure required to map the future of global trade is already in place. It's out there right now, tracking billions of movements across ships, borders, and fiber optic cables. The patterns of the next major global shift are already hidden somewhere in that data. The question is, in an increasingly volatile world, how will you leverage this global nervous system to anticipate the next supply chain shock? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this helped illuminate the incredible systems mapping our world. Keep questioning, keep analyzing, and I'll see you next time.